Hello everyone and welcome to lesson 10.2B. I've entitled this video, The Lewis and Clark Expedition. This video is going to cover pages 274 to 275. The Lewis and Clark Expedition. Americans knew little about the land west of the Mississippi, and Jefferson wanted to learn more about the new territory he had just acquired. He persuaded Congress to sponsor an expedition to gather information about the new land. The expedition would document findings about the territory's people, plants, and animals, and recommend sites for future forts. The expedition had another goal: finding and mapping the fabled Northwest Passage, a water route across North America. In order to trade with Asia, Europeans had to sail around Africa. Because the trip was long and costly, European explorers searched, unsuccessfully, for a more direct route. Once the Americas were colonized, Americans and Europeans continued to sail around Africa or around the tip of South America in order to reach Asia. Finding a water route across North America became more important than ever. And now we can answer a couple questions. Number one, what were some of the goals that President Jefferson had for an expedition of the Louisiana Territory? Well, he was hoping that expedition would be able to help Americans find out more about the people, plants, and animals in that land, and to know where would be the best places to build forts in the future. Question 2. What was another major goal of the expedition? Trying to find that ever-elusive Northwest Passage. Trying to find a way to get around North America by going through the passage that hopefully was there so that they could trade with Asia without having to go all the way around the southern part of the world. Jefferson chose Meriwether Lewis, his 28-year-old private secretary, to head the expedition. Lewis joined the militia during the Whiskey Rebellion and had been in the Army when Jefferson hired him as his private secretary in 1801. Jefferson apparently looked forward to one day setting out an expedition to explore the continent and hired Lewis with that in mind. William Clark was co-leader of the expedition. Clark was 32 years old and a friend of Lewis's. Clark also brought along York, an enslaved African American. York was a key member of the expedition. He was especially helpful building ties with Native Americans, many of whom had never before seen an African American and were drawn to him. And you can see a picture of all three of them here in this statue. Lewis and Clark were well-informed amateur scientists. They also had experience doing business with Native Americans. Together they assembled a crew of expert sailors, gunsmiths, carpenters, scouts, and a cook. 2 men of mixed Native American and French heritage served as interpreters. Question 3. Who were the 2 people that co-led the expedition of the Louisiana Territory? Lewis and Clark. Question 4. Why was York, an enslaved African American, a key member of the expedition too? Well, he helped build relations with the Native Americans. So when they would run up against Native American tribes, many Native American tribes were very drawn to York. They're like, wow, I've never seen this before. And so it helped build relations with Lewis and Clark and the Native American tribes that they found. Question number 5. What are a couple of reasons why Lewis and Clark were good choices for the expedition? Well, they were well informed, so they were very intelligent, and they were also amateur scientists, so you had that going for them. And also they had experience doing business with Native Americans, so they knew how to interact and how to trade and barter with the Native Americans that they were going to encounter on this trip. In the spring of 1804, the expedition left St. Louis, and you can see that on the map right over here. If I can get the cursor to get on it. There we go. They left St. Louis and worked its way up the Missouri River. On May 5th, 1805, Lewis described what they encountered along the trail in his journey. Primary source: buffalo, elk, and goats or antelopes feeding in every direction. The buffalo furnish us with fine veal and fat and beef. We have not been able to take any fish for some time past. This country is as yesterday beautiful in the extreme. Question number 6. What river did Lewis and Clark use to begin the journey west? They used the Missouri River, and as you can see, they used that Missouri River a long way on their journey. The expedition encountered many Native American groups on the journey. A Shoshone woman named Sacagawea joined the group as a guide. Question number 7. What role did Sacagawea have in the Lewis and Clark expedition? She was a guide for them. After 18 months and nearly 4,000 miles, Lewis and Clark reached the Pacific Ocean. They spent the winter there. Then they headed back east, returning in September of 1806. The explorers had collected valuable information about people, plants, animals, and the geography of the West. Perhaps, most important, their journey inspired people to move westward. Question number 8. How long did the Lewis and Clark expedition take in both time and miles to get to the ocean? It took a year and a half, or 18 months, and nearly 4,000 miles. Question number 9. What ocean did Lewis and Clark finally reach? They reached the Pacific Ocean. So they left from the Mississippi River, they traveled on the Missouri River, and eventually they made their way all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Question number 10. What valuable information did the Lewis and Clark expedition collect on their journey? Well, they collected valuable information about the people they met, the plants they encountered, and the animals that they observed, and the geography of the land out west. Well, thank you for watching. Before we go, I don't have 1 or 2 memes. What I do have for you, though, are 2 Far Side cartoons on Lewis and Clark. July 2nd, 1805. Well, the cur did it again today. While walking behind me, he stepped on the heel of my shoe, causing my foot to come out. The frequency of this occurrence has made me begin to doubt its accidental nature. Tensions mount on the Lewis and Clark expedition. And finally, Lewis and Clark meet Sylvia and Rhonda. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.